today. So we need to embed this in the culture, how to make sure that zero defect, zero defect or minimize error. We need to listen to the customer voice, VOC or voice of the customer, because partnership with customers and suppliers are really important. Nowadays, they call this statement a co-creation or co-design or co-manufacturing. So you are not really working in isolation anymore. You are trying to go beyond the organization or the manufacturing plant boundaries and ask those who are interested or those are expert to give you or to co-create or co-design or co-develop with you and listen to their inputs, which will help producing the products or the service that the customer need, and the customer will be definitely satisfied. So everyone in the organization is a customer. I mentioned this a little while ago. I said even your employees is a customer. We call it internal customer. So employee satisfaction is as important as customer satisfaction. So you need also to apply these quality rules to make sure that this person is satisfied. One of the characteristics, they are trying to reduce the cycle time. How long it would take to produce this product? How about, can we minimize, can we narrow down, how can we reduce this cycle? There are different techniques. I don't think we are in the scope of this talking about TQM techniques. No, I don't think so. Just a hint about TQM, not really, but there are many techniques used. And you try to pick the right one. Among again, the principles of TQM is to do it the first time, do it right the first time. So what that you are trying to reach is to do things right in the first time, and focus of TQM also on the values and respect each other, respect everyone in the organization. And this kind of philosophy or strategy is designed to fit with the organization. Very famous award is called the Malcolm Bridge National Quality Award. This is awarded by US government to encourage organization to improve quality. And this award is given to any company who are recognized globally as exemplary organization, the best one. And if you go to the website of this Malcolm Bridge National Quality, you have every year they have a list of those companies and the rank of those companies who get this award every year. Based on what? What are the criteria they have in order to award this kind of award? They have five criteria. Number one is the leadership and the strategic planning, the customer focus, human resource focus, business result. Do any of Malaysian company got this result award before? To me, I don't know any Egyptian company. But do you know any Malaysian one got this award before, or even? Yeah, you can go to the website and search. So what is the similarity between TQM and OD? Because I mentioned now that if we are implementing OD program, so we need to consider or put in mind this TQM. There are some similarities. TQM may not be part of the OD program, but it is a standalone program that assumes problem and solution related to quality. OD practitioners are not quality expert. They are not. But you may need to include TQM as one of the techniques that will help you, because remember, we need to change. Our aim from the beginning of this course, we talk about change, how to change this organization to a better organization. So if TQM will help me reach that aim, Why not? Why not use? But we are not quality persons. That's why I told you this is not really, we are not going to dig deep into TQM. Finally, the self-managed work teams. Self-managed work teams are those teams that whose member decide to handle their task. They are having this kind of autonomy to work together to handle their task. People from different parts of the organization come to work together. They have different skills, different backgrounds. They may be permanent or temporary based on the aim of the project. They have some characteristics is if you know that it's only maybe few members, that means they don't have such different level of management, first, middle, and top, and so on. No, the structure is few. Also, they lack the status symbols. They are working together. They don't have this kind of symbol or status symbols. They are all supposed to be equal in power and in position. Functional boundaries that member can identify. So we already know everyone his own function in this group. The number may be between 5 to 15, and teams order material and equipment because maybe one of their tasks is to procure some materials, and they should have a sense of vision. Partnership among them is really important. Diversity, of course, because they are coming again from different departments. They are different in terms of skills, so that will lead to different viewpoints, and information will be openly shared in this card. We talk about this many times already. Members knowledgeable in their areas. Let's use the design of jobs or the 5 core job dimension that help in evaluating the extent team is self-managed. We want to understand to what extent this team is performing well and managing or self-managing well. So those teams provide their own management and they don't have any supporting staff to help them perform their jobs. So there are 3 levels of management in these teams. One is the internal leader. This internal leader, he is the one trying to make sure that they have all the resources needed, equipment, supplies, everything is available. And also another person or another member is coordinating the process or the team interaction. Facilitator, maybe we can say, he or she help the team to get the resources, and upper management of support team, which does the general planning and do some kind of setting the goals as we learned it before, and deal with outside parts or the external environment. Sometimes there's council, which is used in some organizations to deal with organization-wide concern. They can form what is known as councils. Those councils are composed of representatives to try to, again, to deal with any kind of organization-wide concern. The reward system for those teams, self-managed teams, is based on the performance. So reward will be given to teams, and teams will decide how to distribute the rewards. And I think we had one case before, if you still recall, we had one case that they're having a very new structure. Remember which one? With Harley Davidson. Yeah, they formed such structure before. Uh, they have a 15 a group of 8 to 5 of members working in groups, and each group send a representative to an operating groups, and they have 4 operating groups to oversee the division and so on. And the leadership includes the plant manager and union president, and the employee can choose to work at any plant and so on. We had this example before. Um, so the team small enough for individuals to be reflected in his or her okay. This reward system, maybe these rewards may be given to teams, and team decide how to distribute them. They are self-managed themselves. So it seems that they are totally different organization. They have their own rules of distributing the rewards. They decide on the individual performance, how this individual performance to be reflected in his or her paycheck and the paycheck of everyone else also. But with this kind of teams, we have to be cautious. There are some cautions in using these self-managed teams because it may not be appropriate for some tasks, for some people and some contexts. And I think I know, I recall what Mr. said before, people that not everyone can you can apply with him the self-managed team because they they have to have a certain level of experience and knowledge and so on. So when you try to apply these self-managed teams, please be careful. It may not be appropriate. Why? Different people, different culture, and different contexts. Managers and leaders may be vague about the rules. Since we as a team will decide everything, we as a team will decide the rewarding system, we as a team will decide how this performance will be reflected in our paycheck. So it seems that no one knows what is his exact role in this team. And lack of training can cause team to fail. If they are not trained how to self-manage the team, that will definitely a failure. So this is the last topic I think for today. I think if you have any comments on that self-managed work team and the characteristics, TQM already, as I said, is not is actually in our main area of interest here. However, we still need to look at it. But I think self-managed work team, because we may need to do this during the change process. Self-managed teams, an important issue. Do you have any comments on that, self-managed teams?
Prof, I believe
Yes.
the members of self-managed team should come from an excellent background. For example, they have proven themselves, they have a good track record working with the company.
Mm.
So in this only condition that the top managers can assign them as member of self-managed team. Otherwise, it is quite difficult to work efficiently. What I am trying to say is that in order to construct or develop self-managed work team, the the selection must be very tight and proper to identify the best members to work in the team. Otherwise, if they simply form the team, one or two members could create a lot of problems to the team. So selection wise, those who can be assigned to self-managed work team must come from a good uh, excellent background. They have good track record. They have proven they can work without much monitoring. They can proven that they have the capacity to become a leader or followers in the team. So it will do if the members is have a good experience, have a good character.
Thank you. So how about what else as a warning sign that you should take into consideration when you have this self-managed work teams? Because as we agreed that you have to be careful when you're having this, because it may not work for some people, some organizations, some people. So what are those warning signs that you may use when you, okay, you supposed to take you are supposed that you are actually approved uh, work teams in your organization to start. What are those warning signs
Yeah.
that you may think of?
The most obvious one is how they manage the financial parts of the team.
Oh yes, yeah, the
That is
rewarding
the
system.
most obvious indicators whether the team is working efficiently or not. For example, they are
Yes.
given with a certain amount of budget. We can see how they manage the budget, whether they
Mm,
can properly use the budget according to the requirement, or they
mm,
mismanage the financial budget. So that is the most alerting sign
mm.
that the top managers
Okay.
need to take care.
Mm.
Another one is whether
What else? Thank you. Yes, yes.
okay, another one maybe the chemical or the chemistry bonding between the members, whether they have crisis,
Yes.
whether they can solve the crisis or not. That is another point of view.
I think this is an important one you just mentioned, because sometimes it's just when we form a team, we just normally think about the task and how they can achieve it, and whether this experience and skills can be good enough for this. But we forgot whether they like to work with each other or not. Huh? This is the to get the best out of those people. We need to make sure that they like to work with each other, right? And failing to